our process for getting water out of the pond. We use a sump pump.
A pan over here.
And we put it in the pond. We built this fishing pole. It gets us out towards the middle of the pond, and we pump water from there into the tank in here, and sometimes we use this to power water our other garden spots and even the raised beds. But before we turn this on, we got to put the hose in the tank so we don't waste our water. So now we're going to walk over here and throw the sump pump in the pond and hook up the electricity to it and pump away. There goes the frog.
Okay, so I'm going to come around here so they can kind of see how this thing works over around it, like a big old fishing pole.
Yep. It's kind of counterbalance. It's on a wheel and a pivot. And we can adjust the depth by adjusting the box on the pole.
So tell them what that is wrapped around the post, because people don't know. I mean, around the pipe.
Oh, it's the electrical cord.
Yeah. And the electrical cord comes
from the back of the house. And put this too far right there. Plug it in. Right. There's Shealray.
So,
we have water.
Yay! Now, shall we just give them a little bit overview of how we get it from the house?
Runoff from the yard. But we also get runoff from the house.
How do we do
Our
that?
gutters on this side go over the retaining wall, and there's a grate, and we direct water off the roof into that grate, which has a pipe that goes underground through a drain in the concrete floor up there, and it comes down this tube and drains off into the pond. We'll get thousands of gallons when we have good rains. It helps keep the pond full.
Plants are starting to do something, you know. We don't want to just say, ta-da, here's the garden in full bloom. Let's let them see a progress report.
Well, the cabbage over here and the Brussels sprouts are doing well in these first two boxes. And then the third box back has Sally's garlic in it.
Look how well that's doing.
And it's sprouted another 6 inches, seems like, over the last few days. And then on the end was the chocolate peppermint. And I took and split it up the other day because it was growing in spots, and spread it out a little bit more so that hopefully as the season progresses this whole bed will be just one solid mass of chocolate peppermint.
Let's talk about the onions. I'm going to walk over here and tell them how you did the onions when you plant them. We do it a little different than what most people think. Let's see if we can show you some of the stuff. Yeah. So tell them what you're doing, Larry, when you do the onions.
Well, I do a lot of research all the time, and I found that to have nice big large onions, you need to not poke them down in the dirt so far and cover them over. They just need enough coverage to be able to take root. If you don't have them smothered in dirt, they're able to spread and form big onions.
Okay. And so our Swiss chard.
So we got a little bit of
Oh yeah.
of beets coming up here.
See, if they're in a straight line, that's the stuff we planted. That's why we have the stakes out there. The rest we can take out when a little bit of grass grows in. You want to poke that down just a little bit more?
Yeah, it's a little bit too much out of the ground, but they're starting to do well. And the Swiss chard likes it out here.
Oh yeah. Yum,
Won't
yum,
be long,
yum.
we'll be eating some of that.
Let's go back over to the compost pile, Larry, over here. I'm going to pan over this away.
Oh, behind us?
Yeah, because we want to talk about compost a little bit. We had to get some more compost in. We got it from that big hill on top, where the horses provide it for us. So I think that's wonderful. And then we threw it over the fence, which you're going to see the video on that. What makes a good compost, Larry? Got any tips on what people can do? Because obviously people are not going to have the resources we have, you know, like horses and such.
Well, you don't have to have compost. You don't really need to have dirt, but it helps. Compost can be any vegetable matter, just no meat products, and you just let it break down over time. Earthworms are an important thing to help break that down. And
how long would they make sure? I mean, they need to start this composting like maybe a year ahead of time.
yeah, you should be making compost now for next.
If you put it on when it's not, you can get it what I call too hot, like cow manure fresh out of the cow. You'll burn your garden up. Was that too much ammonia or something?
Any manures that are fresh are too much.
Yeah.
They have too much ammonia in them. Chicken manure, rabbit pellets, goat pellets.
Let's talk
cow manure. Any kind of manure is too potent when it's fresh.
Okay, we had a person ask us about blueberries and what was your advice on the soil for blueberries?
Blueberries like moist soil, and they like soil that's a little more acidic, so you can get it that way by adding sphagnum peat to it.
And where do you get your sphagnum? You can buy that at the stores, local?
Yeah, it usually comes in a big bundle, and it's compressed so you can break it up, and it goes a long ways. Did pine needles one year for the blackberries, and they took off, and we had so many blackberries, we were giving them away.
Yeah, we were really fortunate on that.
And they were thornless blackberries, which are the best kind.
Yeah, thornless. Let's walk up to the hill and let's talk about asparagus a little bit. Give the guys a little bonus here.
Oh, it's tall.
It's tall. You know, asparagus kind of reminds me of mushrooms, doesn't it? I mean, each day. If you don't get it every day, it gets wood and hard. You have to keep track of that. And, you know, we get so busy sometimes we fail to keep track of it.
Quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of it's really big.
So how would you know how far up to cut? Here's another one. Charlie, do you like asparagus?
Sure.
I'm going to give you a glimpse of after he's done cutting this, I'm going to give you a glimpse of our compost pile a little closer view so you can see how big this really is. As you can tell, the tractors, we load it with the front end loaders on our tractors. Okay, I'm going to pan over here so you can see how big that pile is. We clean out the barn and the surrounding area. Say compost is really ready to go when you've got green growing on top of it, green grass.
Well, the smell.
And the smell, it goes back to dirt. You know what? The earth has a way of just taking everything back to the dirt. And you know, you may think that it just all goes back to the earth. It may take longer for like other things, like plastics or whatever, but eventually in a few thousand years it goes back to the earth. It recycles. So we are recyclers. We really make the most of the area that we have, and we're really happy. Look at this. To have fresh asparagus. That's something. So we're going to end it right here with all this bounty, and we are.
That's enough for lunch.
Yeah, and Larry, we wanted him to know, didn't we, honey?
Yep. Wanted you to know
We wanted you to know.
what the crazy old people are doing.
The crazy old people.